There you go.
Mm.
So, you guys have, for the time being, cleared Henrietta of any wrongdoing. You guys never took a peek into Svenja's room, did you?
I was planning to, but it sounded like we were on a time crunch, so we just came down here.
Well, I'll give that choice to you, and it will be basically the closest to a coin flip event.
Then, yeah, sure. I did want to check Svenja's room.
This is a butchered corpse.
Would we both have been able to do that at that point, or just him?
I think both of you. Tell you what, I'll give you 3 states.
Okay.
One is you guys just don't have the time. One is you guys can take a glimpse into the room but not have time to investigate, and the other one is the last one is you have time to investigate.
Okay.
So 33, 33, 33. Oh, I guess I'll give 1% more to the no time at all because you tend to go 66% with the other two. So 1 to 34, 35 to 66, 67 to 100. Actually, wait, no.
Okay.
Flip that. Flip that.
As
1
long
to
as
33.
you know the numbers, as long as
yeah,
you know the numbers, we
okay.
can roll the dice.
My Asian blood is doing math too fast for my mouth to comprehend. Roll me to 100.
Who's rolling? Okay.
There you go.
you.
All right, 43.
So you guys have time to take a glimpse of the room.
Cool.
Compared to her mother's room, hers is a lot more decorated. It's painted more colorfully. There's even like little they're not engraved into the wall, but they're like attached to the wall, right? Like little like ponies and stuff like that, like sort of like that jut out. Like you actually could push them, like texturally they're not a part of the wallpaper. It's a lot more decorated, a lot more floral and or Easter colors, I guess. A lot more pretty and stuff like that. Fitting for a little girl. She does have some bits of, or like little bits and baubles, like jewelry and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. It's not like a $20,000 like triple gem ring. No, just like little trinkets, where it's like, oh, it's a gold chain or something like that. But that's about it.
Okay.
But nothing that stands out to you guys, and it's at this point that you guys are like, I don't know if we have time. Yeah, we don't know if we have time for this. If we want to also look at like other stuff, like kitchen, mom's room, stuff like that. But yeah.
Do we get a glance at any, like, is there any paintings, pictures in the room, that kind of thing, drawings?
There are a lot of. There are a good amount of drawings.
Okay.
Some of them are like posted up, like with little pins and stuff like that. But some of them are also like on the ground and stuff like that.
Okay.
Particular
theme at all to them?
Remember your guys' perception.
Can do.
Side
I don't have to roll that. I'm not involved in this.
Damn.
That's respectable.
Mm-hmm.
That's also respectable.
Hey, you guys got basically the same number off
with
the
plus ends.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. We can talk about that. Let me do some.
It's not what I think it is it?
Calm yourself. Let me roll.
Okay.
You find 21 gold.
Oh, nice.
So,
I think
it's a fuck. What was the 3.5 term for this? It's like a skill challenge test combined, right? So it's like add this to your guys stuff like that. So you guys basically make a 17. It'd be like a 60.5 round to 17. 17 plus 21 is 38, which breaches 35.
Nice.
Oh,
thank God.
Good.
You see, Svenja has a lot of little drawings of like, you know, parts of town that she technically frequents all around town, but whatever. You know, that she stops at, certain people that she likes more than others in a sort of brutal but honest childlike way. You see amongst that number, you see there's a priest in it, but that's not too surprising for a small town that they like their local representative of the church. This is a fantasy world, alright? No one at me. You see, unsurprisingly, Captain Rex. You see her mom. You don't spot any. Well, I guess this is really decides. You don't spot any images of Dad, unfortunately.
Okay.
So you don't know when her dad went away, so she might not remember him. She's pretty young, so it's not too hard to believe. There is no. Be assured, there's none with the mayor.
Thank you.
There's none with the mayor. There is one with the barkeep, and stuff like that. And there's a couple where there's like her and her, what you assume her like her age friends, like her and like 5 other kids. and stuff like that. Um,
There's a drawing of Silas and Alexander, but from behind.
Actually, really enough, the background looks exactly like the shot they're standing in right
into
now.
the room.
I love that. There's one thing that catches your guys' eye though. There is one where she's like, at the lake, and her reflection that she's drawn in the picture is not her reflection.
Oh. What is it?
It's hard to tell. It's like just her drawing is really vague of it, but it's this sort of like a blue color, like what the architect blew right here, and it's this sad, crying figure, sort of like just a blob, like really vague silhouette. Which she does try to do, like the effects of like you see something on water, so like it is like
It ripples.
yeah, ripples. She does something like that on it, which doesn't help, but
She's so artistic.
yeah, maybe when she grows up, and depending on how the town goes, she might have some.
If she grows up at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, you could have Violet. Violet. As we know, Violet is an accomplished artist.
When
You
she
said
goes
what I was thinking, Garth.
When?
You said
Not if.
this figure is her reflection.
It's in place of her reflection,
In place
or
of
is her reflection. It depends on your interpretation
Showing
of it.
off her true
She looks at the
emotions.
thing.
Okay. I
Chill,
like
there's
this.
the Vampire Lord's coming out.
Yeah, so I guess after we leave, Alexander, I assume we catch the other stuff, like, oh yeah, we ain't found shit! But he will say, that painting of hers, though, that drawing.
Mhm.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. One more thing. Silas,
Oh,
do
wait,
you
one more
have,
thing.
do you have painter supply proficiency?
I don't.
Okay, I know someone that does.
Hi.
Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
roll me your painter supplies.
I can certainly do that.
Come on.
Come on.
Come
on,
Can
get
I
Do I
give a
have-
bardic? Can I give a bardic?
You may.
About to ask.
Yay.
I can't add Kensai die to this.
No.
Scooby,
I've already
Scooby Bop.
gotten rid of like half of mine.
And
What stat does your painter supplies use?
I have it set as
Does it-
query because it kind of changes depending on the situation.
Roll on wisdom this time.
Wisdom it shall be.
Because like dexterity, I feel like is you doing the painting. This one isn't you
Right.
doing the painting.
This
so.
is more analyzing it, you know.
Exactly.
Straight advantage disadvantage.
If it was Silas, I would say advantage because
They
Silas
saw
was
the
one of the people that behold it. But for you, I think it would just be straight.
I'll take straight roll. So I'll take a 34. I brought a +1 to get
Just
the 35.
fucking casually.
It is an interesting
This is
thing
for
that
feels.
as they're describing it, and it prompts your mind to ask the question, and you get the answer. Her reflection was bigger than her. It wasn't the same size as her. It was considerably bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if she's like, well, the size of a tot, this thing's like double, triple,
Like an adult size.
maybe a bit bigger.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Bigger.
That
Something
charismatic
big.
influence.
So does it come off as more
Hmm.
she's seeing a reflection or more? How do you describe this?
It-
Imagine like just a barrier that is a two-way mirror, kind of like a two-way mirror. Like she's looking more through a two-way mirror than a fucking reflection, if that makes sense.
What an interesting question.
She's looking through a window.
Hmm.
Window. That's a much better one than two-way mirror because one side doesn't see it, obviously. I think she would
What an interesting question.
deposit that idea
Yep,
of just there
that
might
is.
there might be something
terrifying.
trapped in the water. Well, not water, but on the
Was
other
it
side of
maybe-
reflections, the mirror bridge.
Exactly.
Oh, the yeah. Mm. Sorry,
is there,
things
like-
just connected in my head.
A being
was a
that
woman
can't
that-
be seen in our world, but can be seen in reflections.
It was
Almost
a woman in the legend, right? That was on the other side of the mirror, or in the mirror.
She looked in the mirror, she saw something evil behind her. If she looked behind her, there wasn't anything there. Looked back in the mirror, jumped at her, and then some divine light protected her.
Oh.
Oh, hey, here's a concept. Do we know that the moon, the light from the moon is a reflection of the sun?
It's not in this world.
Not in this world.
Whoa.
Never mind. There
In
goes
this
that
world, the moon gives off. In this world, the moon gives off its own light.
thought. That's
Fuck yeah!
interesting.
Supreme Moon.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so never mind, because
yeah.
my thought process was, well, that makes the entire area just a massive reflection of something, but then it's like, well, that doesn't work now.
Scoutkeeper Thorestia is the god of justice as well as the cosmic bodies, and supposedly some of the arrows, or my bad, some of the shooting stars are arrows from a specific saint. So, like, if you see a shooting star, it's an arrow from a saint. So in that vein, you would all know by provincial testaments that, that they are separate entities that she controls, or is embodiment of. There's a lot of theological discussion, no one gets an answer for that. So,
Yeah, it's a whole...
people don't exactly ask Scoutkeeper Thorestia about it. So,
hey girl, I got some questions. Anyways,
but as you guys have heard from Kasai's own backstory, her tribe's history, there was another son at some point.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
And now there's only one. So, bodies in the sky. Who knows?
So we have a lot of threads here revolving around and connecting to reflections. We have a creature that doesn't show up unless it's in a mirror, that was repelled when light reflected off the mirror. Which the where the light came from was vague in the
it was
recounting
just
of the
said to
tale.
be
Is that
divine.
purposeful?
Mhm.
I think it's just a thing of, like, in the story, they just don't know where it came from, so they just assume it was gods. That's where I'm working
It's
from.
also kind of
Regardless,
inverse of vampires
have-
and
I was
mirrors.
gonna say.
Yeah.
we have a creature potentially with like a very pointed bite pattern that is only revealed in reflections. We have vampires that are only revealed during blood moon next to a lake, next to the lake that her reflection is drawn in, or her reflection, a reflection. Could it be that for some reason, in some capacity, the blood moon reflecting off the water reveals the vampires and the keep?
Oh, that's
And
a
then
good
they're
thought.
able to do whatever they want because they're actually in this world.
It's like if you think about it, it would be like something existing on the opposite side of the mirror, and the moonlight flips the mirror, so the keep would be the right side up.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happens if we go inside there and then the moon disappears? Are we just fucking stuck in there?
Stuck in there.
I
for
feel
like
like if that is the case, there's something we can disable.
Yeah.
To ground it.
I don't think Crash would do us dirty that way.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we
you
have a
don't?
very
Wait
solid
until the next
idea.
blood moon.
Wait, 10
I know. I said I
It's-
think.
It's
Which
too
also-
early.
I wouldn't give you enough rope to hang yourself with.
Yeah, he's pointed out
It's
there's
too
a-
early to say anything concrete. And again, we are basing
This
this
off of a
theory
kid's
off of a
drawing.
child's painting.
Yeah.
Which also,
Listen.
Now that you
Here's
say
a
that
small
out
thing.
loud, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point.
oh shit, right? Yeah, no, that could just be like
It's a lot of
trauma
conjecture
dumping for a child.
one painting.
Shut up, okay? God, all right.
That's the point. That's less
Okay,
a point for us out of character because obviously it was pointed out to us. Meta knowledge dictates that it might be important, but for our characters, why would they give so much credence to a kid's drawing? It's
I
something
will
when-
say that is a factor. There's a factor of like not metagaming, but also your characters have the sort of equivalencies of hunches. That's part of being an experienced
Exactly.
adventurer.
Like,
Yeah.
So you might, right? And like for fuck's sake, there's lots of fairy tales about like this is my favorite shit. If you guys ever fight a hag on their terms, so Auntie Boy doesn't count. Hag magic actually can bypass the laws of magic if it's in this twisted storybook sense. So that goes both ways usually. To those of you in the Blackwatch, it's the equivalences of folkloric weakness, except it's a folkloric strength. Right? So they can bypass the laws of magic so long as there's some sort of twisted fairy tale logic, quote unquote, behind it. Which is really fucked up when things are going awry, but anyway, that's besides the point. So your characters know such stories exist, so you know that there are, how to say, vibes, rules, or lack thereof, or the lack thereof is the rule. Like, there's certain hunches that your characters have an idea, and as part of the cultural basis they have. Is that me greenlight metagaming? No, not at all. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if you guys can make the logical deduction, I don't see why
There's
your
a
characters
chance.
can't also make
Yeah,
a similar thing.
At the very least, our characters see this painting or drawing, see this drawing, and notice, hey, there's reflections again.
Yeah,
Hold up.
that's absolutely
so-
fair.
Yeah, and
That's
then
That would
we-
absolutely put a lot of
This is
theory
not me
into it as
confirming that
well.
these theories are right, but I'm
Yeah.
just confirming that you guys can progress on the path.
Here's
Yeah,
one
there's a
small
reasoning
thing.
for it.
Would Morgan be able to tell, like, I feel like this might be a stretch, like, what, I guess, lighting the picture was in, if that makes sense? Basically to tell if it was, like, a blood moon or, like, some other time of day.
It would have been no. I think that's a fair question to ask.
Okay.
Out of 34, right? This is a
Okay.
child. This is the thing, right? This is why it's a wisdom based. You are having to put yourselves into the mental vision of a child, right? Because not even what she saw; it's what she thinks she saw, right? Because that's if we could all just take what we have in our minds and put it on paper, we'd all be an artist, can't we? Huh? That's how it works.
Don't have to tell me twice.
The way she
Yeah.
painted the nearby environment, this like vibrant blue, almost like to like this teal color we have for the roads on the map, the vibrant greens of the grass and the trees and so on, it wouldn't look that way at night to a child. So it has to have been during the day,
Right.
or else the rest of the image would have to shift as a result of it.
Probably a lot darker and a lot scarier.
Yeah,
If she-
more imposing.
Actually, here's another point. Her mother says she's not allowed out at night.
Yeah, but kids
Oh,
can
yeah,
get
there you go.
stamps.
So it seems like it was, assuming this is a scene that she saw in her head, which they all are, all the others were, then it was drawn during the day. That scene took place during the day.
Right. Fair line of logic. Not even assumption, just line of logic on that.
So yeah, let's take all that and let's tuck it in our back pocket and let's pull it out when it becomes relevant.
Can do.
Towards the tower. Can we also
Towards
say
the tower.
we
Again,
were talking
tower,
about
it's
this
not-
on the way that way?
I assume you have been talking about once you guys get out of the confines of town and are in the farmland area.
I could dig that. Yeah, sure.
'Cause maybe talking about it in the middle of town might not be the best.
Absolutely. We're not
Yeah.
fucking doing that in town.
Yeah.
They're already wary of us. We don't
I
need to be
just-
seen as.
I just wanted to make sure that was
Gossip
discussed, so
girls.
it's not like later. I'm just like, oh yeah, you said this in the middle of town. I was like, what?
I know I'm the one who
There-
like suggested the plan that we tried. One of us tries to get got, but not right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Not yet.
There are certain GMs which have those gotcha moments you guys are talking about. I didn't say you guys left town yet. I'm again the same way. I don't assume bad rolls are your character becoming Helen Keller. I don't assume your characters are illogical to the point of discussing major confidential topics in the middle of a place unless there's no other potentiality.
Mhm.
Like
Or we
which,
explicitly say.
which is like this is like where Marshall Nile came in, right? When he obfuscated the region around you. It's because there's nowhere else you guys could have talked about it, so he just made it a safe zone. Stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you guys continue on your way out of town and begin discussing these theories. We'll call them that. Theories.
Hell yeah.
As you guys clear out from the farmland region, it's sort of the only actual like standing structure where the tower, quote unquote tower is. And it's not a tower. It was probably a watchtower at some point, but now, whereas a watchtower has like 4 or 5, however many stories, this has 2. So, and when I say 2, it's not like the top or the second floor, the top floor remaining is like an open roof. No, it's been rebuilt and reconstructed to a certain degree, but it's quite clear it was a different type of building prior. It does have like this little fence postings around it and stuff like that, to where it's like almost like American dream, like sort of white picket fence sort of idealism, but it's not a white picket fence, I'm afraid. It's a little like metal pipe, sort of fence. Not that they go like 10 feet up, just waist height, chest height, thereabout. Keep up pests and stuff like that. You guys see your fellows River Company people on the bridge right now, as they're just sort of, well, some of them are examining, some of them aren't. Can't imagine who that would be. Looks at Zol.
He's standing
Yeah.
guard like a good lad.
Yeah, he's standing guard, alright. He may or may not be looking for good places to fish, but that's besides the point.
Oh, you
Man
know
after
what?
my
He's
own heart.
invincible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, rendezvous with them. What'd y'all find?
I think there's a real sweet place for fishing down that away. American hits on the back of the helmet. Ow.
No,
This-
that's good to know.
If we need a forge for food, we want to know where to get it best.
The bridge is magic.
All right.
As a whole.
Can you tell
As a whole.
from what?
That I'm less sure on. America chimes in. We thought there might be something with the mirrors that's magic, but it's quite the inverse. The bridge itself is magic, but the mirrors are not.
Well, townsfolk themselves hang these mirrors up out of superstition. So I don't think they would be magic. But the bridge itself. You
Yeah,
can't tell what kind of magic. You can't tell.
She shakes her head. There are things shrouding it.
Shrouding it?
She nods.
The bridge or the magic?
The magic.
Anything we can do about it?
Magic hiding magic. Is there anything to be done about it? She thinks on it. I don't know. I don't like the idea of messing with it. I feel like that would... It would exacerbate things.
We'll sit on that for now. I don't suppose this is built over a ley line.
Sai shakes her head. No. I think the lake, due to its size, is, but the bridge, no. And it's a pretty big lake. I'm talking Lake Michigan sort of lake. It's really big.
Oh, okay.
Can we see the lake from the bridge?
Silas.
Yeah, the bridge goes over the lake. So.
Oh.
The bridge itself isn't huge. It's not fucking Golden Gate Bridge or anything like that. It really is it goes over. There's a term for this. I don't know what it's called, but basically where the river begins as it stems out from the lake, that bridge goes over that. So it's in a perfect spot. It's oh, why wouldn't you settle the bridge further down the river? It's because there's a lot of stuff around here, right? For fishing huts and lodges, there's travel, trade, freshwater, well, you name it, right? This is an optimal point at the start of the mouth. That's the term. The mouth of the wait, no, mouth is the other way.
The head of the river?
No,
God damn it.
Nothing of the river.
Oh, the mouth of the river, yeah, where the river begins.
Fred, you were saying something?
Oh yeah, Morgan. Silas, do you reckon you can pinpoint where that drawing was made?
Ooh.
Was there enough detail to do that? Sure, fucking good, but it sounds like they were mostly
Remind
looking
me,
at the
how
water.
big is the bridge again? Because she was on a bridge, wasn't she?
I think she was at the side of the lake, right?
Oh.
No. She was on the waterfront. If you're talking about
the
story, she was on the bridge. The legend is she was
I
on the
see.
bridge. The drawing, she was on the water, the coast of the lake.
Yeah.
I think it's called a coast. Whatever.
the bank of the
Shore-
water.
Shoreline,
river, I
yeah.
suppose, looking into the water.
Correct. Also, yeah.
Silas, hands on their hips, head tilted as they look at the lake. I mean, we can try.
Was there anything on the ground next to the drawing? Any
It's going to be a bit of a needle in a haystack to locate it. Is it possible? Potentially. Is it going to be easy or even moderate difficulty? No, it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah. We have a 34, and that's why it's a possible.
If Morgan is willing to try, Silas will. I mean, Silas is going to try anyway, but to help at least.
I mean,
Silas is going to give it a good old college try by themselves, whether or not Morgan's going to help.
yeah.
But
Morgan.
She would like to help, but that's probably not going to do anything. So she'll just, I don't know, cheerlead from the back.
At the very least, to make sure we're not completely isolated, she would help with the whole venture with Silas.
Roger that.
We're not 100% separated, but we're going to be a bit of distance from everyone else. So by the time we would notice if Silas got scooped by something, it might be well too late.
I don't know, Silas can be pretty loud.
Just gets dragged in the water into the cat taking a
Cat in
bath.
water.
As they're looking, can we clue Kasai and the others in on what we saw in the painting?
Sure. You give a debrief, and they give you a debrief back. They did pass by the abode of Captain Rex, and they did say there was activity inside it, so they didn't bother sneaking around. None of them are of an amber disposition, so they didn't decide to venture it. But in investigating the bridge, yeah, they already told you their findings on that. When you guys clue them in on the painting, Zol's just perturbed because the implication isn't good, right? Anything affecting a kid is call it for his twinsian pragmatism, or unsurprisingly, he's just a good guy. It doesn't bode well, no matter which way you analyze it. Things that prey upon children in the world are usually more twisted, and as a result of their twistedness, more powerful. So that's the pragmatic side of it, right? Like a hag, right? Those get more powerful as they become more evil and sadistic. So when you guys tell this is all, you can see underneath his visor him just sort of furrow his brow and grimace a little bit as he like crosses his arms, clearly being uncomfortable with it. Just I think so. I'm trying to recall any Navros legends on it, but the problem is there's just too many. There's a lot of Navros folklore like tales and stuff like that, so she can't exactly pinpoint it, right? I'm sure O will be able to speak towards about like all the different folklore and tales for like Native American mythos. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
You know why there's a lot? Because it changes from tribe to tribe, so it's a multiplicative increase in stories. That being said, let me roll something for her real fast. I just thought of it right now. She's a keeper. She's a alas. Let's see.
You hear that, Alec? She's a keeper.
As if you need to be told that.
She wouldn't have Logan's insight, but that's still like a fucking 30.
Oh my god, just
That's
casually.
still a 30 flat. That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
She thinks on for a moment. What was this study again?
Oh, the bridge?
Yes.
Oh.
Tell as much detail as you can. Blair like raises an eyebrow and looks like aside, not like out of concern or anything, but out of genuine curiosity and inquiry.
Was it a young woman that was crossing the bridge?
A little girl. Little girl.
Little girl. Young girl was crossing the bridge. From which side?
Your guys' side, town side.
From the town side here. And she took out a mirror, looked at her reflection in it, and spotted something on the other side of the bridge. She looked and couldn't see it with the naked eye. She looked back in the mirror and saw it start to approach her, right?
I think it lunged at her, basically, didn't it?
When she first saw it, it was staring at her.
Ooh.
Ominously. Menacingly, according to Patrick.
Menacingly stared at her from the reflection from the mirror. It lunged at her. I can't recall as to why, but it lunged at her, and some light, I didn't inquire as to what kind of light, reflected off the mirror and hit the thing's reflection. Or the thing. And scared it off. Since then, people started hanging mirrors off the bridge in case someone ever needed more.
And they never talked about what the creature was.
Did we get a description of it? No,
Mm-hmm.
right? Shakes his head.
Is there something you're picking up, Kasai? There is. It is weird to describe for... She looks at you guys. Non-Nevros. But these stories, they're meant to teach something. Every story is. It might be a harsher lesson, a deeper trick on survival, or a moral one. But this, she gestures at you, Alexander, as you're the one telling the story. It doesn't seem right. There is. She looks at the mirrors that are all like the. Let me know. It's like you ever see like those like bridges that have locks for our undying love. It's like that. There's like 100+ mirrors dangling off this fucking bridge.
Oh, okay.
But this is not a lesson. This is. She gestures at the mirrors. A warning, perhaps. This story does not sound. She thinks how to say it. Doesn't sound natural. Because I looks up where and nods at that. It seems made up. Not in sense of book, but in sense of
In sense of, that's not the reason these mirrors are hanging from the bridge.
misdirection.
That explains the lack of detail.
If this was one of our stories, we would talk about this creature in great detail. Fairy, fiend. If it is not in any of these, we would describe what it looks like, what it can do. But there's nothing for this. The light, we would describe where light came from, so we know always to search for it. In case you're in trouble. This detail, this legend is too vague. Even to child. This is where you heard it from, yes? A child should know these details. That is the point. We tell these stories to children to teach them. And if a child cannot tell it to you, that is because there is no meaning there.
So then why all these mirrors? I mean, obviously the townsfolk came because they believe the story, but how'd it start? And whoever started it, why?
I guess this is probably a good point for Morgan to that question there. Where did the bridge come from? The story doesn't say.
I thought Morgan and Silas were off doing something else while this was happening.
Would you guys have left immediately? That's fine if you guys wanted to.
I mean,
Well, it's
unless
mostly
it was clear that we were going to start talking about it.
Well, I mean, it's
Well,
mostly
this is
like
a
Fred,
debrief.
like mentioned, like while they're gone, we're going to talk about this.
Okay, then you guys are away then. So, move on.
That is a good point. I thought this bridge was made by the town.
I mean, Kasai's wise. She can take that line if she wants.
No, it's your line, so let you hold it.
Hold the line.
So, the story isn't exactly all it seems to be.
What was
No.
that note then? I might run off to bed soon. It's almost 10 to.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll figure out something for Anushka to do in the background then.
Yeah, just I don't know, be solo investigation or something.
Sure.
So about us,
Yeah,
not wanting to be
like,
solo.
yeah,
Hey,
This is not
Kirsty,
green light.
Kirsty,
Yeah.
no.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Kirsty,
Alright,
I'll be
please.
guarding the camp. Smile.
Yeah, she'll get devil napped. It's fine. It's fine.
She's
It's
not alone.
fine.
She's got Lady Bellwether.
Yeah, it's fine. She's got the best backup ever. It's fine. Lady Bellwether's there.
Girls supporting girls.
No offense,
Exactly.
but Lady Bellwether would not associate with.
Damn.
Tieflings.
Lady Bellwether's
Is
racist.
That, it sounds like it.
It's classic.
Sounds
She's
like it.
poor.
Yeah.
You
Or
have to
and
have
other
Don't roll it out like that.
She's not a lady, so you know.
Yeah, not a lady. You're a noble company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to call him a little gal out like that, but alright.
Someone had to say it, and she
Oh,
can't.
well.
So
Oh well. That's okay, we'll go to bed crying now, it's fine. I'll join you in my sobbing. But yeah, no, thanks for the games though. See you next week, I guess.
Normal start.
week or normal start?
Yes, normal start, yes. Yeah, could be.
Huzzah!
Huzzah, it's an order.
Oh,
Huzzah!
Later.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.